Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Tracking tests, banes of our existence, let's be honest, if you're in GCSE or A level, and yeah, these tracking tests last year meant a lot, and so this year my aim is to make sure that you know how to do a tracking test, I know how to do a tracking test, and together, we can do as well as physically possible in these tracking tests, because we don't know if they're going to actually count for our real exams or not. So I have got three and a bit main points to go through, but let's go through, a little bit about what tracking tests actually are and why we do them to start with. So, tracking tests are vital. They are a means of teachers being able to see how well you're currently doing at that moment in time, how much knowledge you already know, how much you can remember, focusing on exam technique, can you get it done in the given time, etc, etc. But they're also vital for you to get the information into your head before exam time. I actually don't mind tracking tests because I know that if I have a tracking test, I will learn the content for that tracking test. I will get it into my thick skull so that I know it then, and if I know it at the start, I'm more likely to know it as we go on, forgetting curves and all that. And yeah, if you know it now, hopefully you can retain as much of that knowledge as physically possible until closer to your exams. So, let's get right into the video, but before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. It makes me really happy, and yeah, it really, really supports this channel. We're getting close to 2,000. I mean, just putting it out there. We're getting close to 2,000, so be in the first 2,000, guys. But yeah, let's go on to number 1, time content balance. When is your tracking test? How long do you have before your tracking test? This is how I work out when I'm starting work for the tracking test, how much I need to do per day, that kind of thing. So, what do I do? Well, when is the tracking test? How many days do I have before the tracking test? And how many things do I need to do for other things before doing this tracking test? So, I'll give you an example. On a Tuesday, I was told that I was having a biology tracking test the next Wednesday. Lovely week's notice. I'm not gonna lie, was so happy about that because I thought, okay, how much do I need to revise for this biology tracking test? I did it last Wednesday, by the way. And I thought, okay, let me just think. Yes, I have about, 3 days worth of work, I think. So, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days. And I just went, okay, I am not focusing on anything to do with this tracking test until those 2 days. And in those 3 days, I'm going to work, done. So, Saturday, I decided, do a bit of work then. Monday, get a bit more done. Tuesday, really testing time, and get ready for Wednesday. So yeah, I use this to plan how to study for the tests. If you're in GCSE, I would recommend 2 days before your test. But this is after you've written your notes. So once you've written your notes, I'd recommend learning the content for 2 days before your actual tracking test. That is peak. I don't think you need to be spending any more than 2 days unless you're really, really confused about the topic, in which case you might want to spend some more. But 2 days is well enough for GCSE. At A level, I'd recommend 3 or 4 days. So I did 3. I did more on Saturday than on Monday and Tuesday, because Monday and Tuesday I had other homeworks as well, but a good 3 to 4 days before, and this is also after writing your notes. Writing your notes is always number 1 priority. I get it done before you're learning the content, but yeah, 3 to 4. But make sure you have enough time to comfortably work without pressure. That, I think that's the main thing. You don't want pressure, because if you have pressure, you're going to be going, stressed, learning less as you go along. We don't like pressure. So before I went and had a sneezing fit, we were talking about, stress. You don't want to stress, you want as little pressure as possible. And so let's move on to number 2, learning. Learning the content. So some people, and let's be honest, me as well, sometimes find it difficult to learn content. I like to absorb by listening, so that is one of the main ways I like to do it, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. But I also learn by writing. So if I write something down, I'm more likely to remember it. But if I hear it and write it down at the same time, even more likely, if I'm really concentrating in here, I could remember that in the exam. And that's just how I work. So it would be something like writing a poster, making a poster, or a mind map about that topic, you know, to really get it in my head. I have shown this off many times before, but I have an organic map which sits behind the camera up there, and it's in colour, it's in Sharpie, it's actually 4 A4 pages stuck together to make this massive mind map, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, that took a lot of work, but writing that out really helped me to get it into my head. And then what I would also do is I would like to explain the topic to someone else as if I was teaching it, because if you can teach someone the topic, you know it pretty well yourself, and that's the kind of time when you want to say, oh, and this is the kind of thing you want to remember, oh, and this is the kind of thing you want to remember. So grab some person. You could be doing it in school, you could be at break or lunchtime, you know, talk to one of your friends, explain the topic to them, you know, if you can explain it to them, then you do know it pretty well. Yes, and then the last bit of learning, I like to be tested by someone, so I usually grab a family member and be like, okay, go through the textbook and test me on my knowledge, and they would, you know, read a bit of the textbook, I would fill in the blanks, or I would explain something, or they'd say, explain this, and I go, point, 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 point. So I'm explaining it to them. I'm active recall, because, you know, you don't have anything in front of you, you're just going off the top of your head. Active recall, one of my favourite ways. But aside from that, yeah, getting someone to talk with you through it, getting someone to explain it to, whether it be in school or outside of school, I think it's a really, really good way of getting stuff into your head. And yeah, so we're going to move on to number 3. I was literally going to put 4 fingers, how stupid am I? 3. Questions. Can you answer questions on the topic? In the textbook, there will usually be some questions, especially in biology, and they give you 5 or 6 questions at the end of the chapter. Can you answer these questions? In the revision guides, there are also questions, and I like to do those too. They're pretty good, and they're pretty useful as well. The answers are all online, so alles gut. Yeah, everything good. Yeah, have you done any past paper questions? That is kind of vital if you're doing tracking tests, because they're going to be based off past paper questions, and I think it's good to, you know, get an idea of how the exam board are going to be asking questions. So I like to go on to see a website, have a wee look, and if you can answer the questions the way the exam board wants you to answer them, then you're set for your tracking test. Yeah, look at past papers, see how they ask questions, and it's underrated, but it is literally vital. It is so vital to getting marks, because if you know what points they're looking for, you don't need to write as much. If you know they're looking for this word, and this word, these are the keywords, or say there's 5 keywords in a 3-mark answer, you want to get those 5 keywords in, and you don't need much else. Literally, that is point, get those marks, and yeah, do well in your tracking test. Yeah, hopefully these 3 tips were some good advice for you. Hopefully you'll benefit from them and your tracking tests will go well, because I know how stressful it is. I've had some very, very stressful pre-tracking test days. And I'm going, I have no idea the subject, I don't know it, how can I do this test? And you go in and it's all okay. Usually. So yeah, work hard, don't stress, don't panic, don't put yourself under pressure, so start early enough. You don't have to put yourself under pressure. Time management is key, and yeah, hope you do well in whatever tracking test you have coming up. That's all I have for this video, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye.